All righty, so welcome everybody today, and we are going to be talking about flow, about focus, and about marketing, and specifically your marketing content and breaking everything down. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down in the chat, or write it down if you're watching this at home, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to marketing specifically? What is your biggest challenge? And so I'm going to frame up this session and get you kicked into getting into a state of flow. I've been studying a lot of research, neuroscience around the state of flow, and going a deeper dive than I already have into that area, because we know that distractions, the little foxes, are the things that are going to pull us away. And with the marketing, because it's getting so crazy online, you need to be able to have the edge. You need to be able to have the ability to focus, the ability to finish, the ability to be totally, that laser focus towards your goal. So as you write down what's your biggest challenge, write it down in the chat, because I'll speak into those situations. But I want to remind you about the power of one. I shared this in another session, and we talked about the power of one product and the power of one focus area. And this requires patience. And some of the research that has been done recently around how you can actually achieve goals and be productive is the fact that, and I speak about this with the whole brain, often creative people are simultaneous thinkers, right? They think about so many things at once. And so I'm going to help you break that down a little bit and bring more order into your mind today for where to put your attention in your marketing, and how to break that down step by step so that you are pulling back. So I want you to pull back, put the brake on a little bit, and reset yourself when it comes to your marketing, because marketing is one of the most important and challenging areas in business in the times that we're in. And, all of those tech guys spend their whole lives trying to work out how to get your attention and how to pull your attention away. And remember, I shared that story about the squirrels on the fence, that I saw these squirrels running along the fence in Dallas when I was staying there at my friend's house. And God spoke to me about the squirrels on the fence, and it was running along the top of a fence. And he said, when the squirrels running along the fence, they're actually not moving into the new land. They're not jumping over the fence. You know how I talk about throwing your hat over the fence, that Irish saying, so that you're intentional about getting to the other side. Well, you want your marketing to result in breakthrough, in getting leads, in getting known as an expert, right? But if you are watching the squirrels, and this is something that I've been working on myself as well, what are those squirrels that are getting your attention? And I heard a really great story the other day about the fact that there was a gentleman riding his bike, and he was riding his bike down from Santa Monica on this trip, and it was like 40-something minutes ride. And he kept timing himself, and he was going really hard and exerting himself on riding this bike really hard down along the ocean. Anyway, he did it for a few months, and he was finding that he wasn't really enjoying it anymore. And so he decided one day to get up and ride his bike and just take his time and enjoy the scenery, notice the dolphins, notice the whales, that was my little bit I added to the story, but notice the whales as he was riding along. So imagine yourself riding alongside the ocean, beautiful ocean on the side, seeing the whales and taking in what is around you and being present in the moment to what is around you. And so he worked out that it only took him 4% less time when he took his time on that ride, instead of overexerting himself. So this whole myth about hurrying and rushing, hands up if you're a serial hurrier. I'm going to put my hand up there. And the hurry comes from this underlying fear and pressure to get all these things done, and so much in the area of marketing. And so as God has been showing me about everything is permissible, but not everything is profitable, I'm talking today about the enabler anointing, the ability to execute your marketing and be highly focused on your goal and not do everything under the sun, because everything is permissible, but not everything is profitable, right? So I'm sharing with you some of these flow and focus tools and tying them in, reining them in, bringing them into the area of marketing. So I'm going to ask you a question. What is your biggest distraction? What distracts you the most? And I want you to start to take notice of what is distracting you. And when I did this exercise again recently, what are the little foxes? I started to look at what was distracting me online and how was I waking up feeling in the morning. And when you're a high creative and you've got all these ideas, and when you're in business, of course, you're going to have multiple things going through your brain, right? So I want to give you permission to, first of all, identify what is distracting you. So I want you to put that in the chat, and I want you to write it down and start writing yourself a list so that you start to catch those boxes of what's distracting you. And in this story about this man riding their bike, they realized that, okay, 4%, he was 4% less speed on taking his time. But if you think about hurrying all the time, and the reason why we hurry is A, we're simultaneously thinking, and B, we're feeling the pressure of having to achieve a goal or make some money or do all our marketing at once, or we've got too many things on our to-do list. So what is distracting you? Please put it in the chat. Is it that you're getting too many notifications on your phone? One of the first things, the best things you can do is actually go into your phone. And I've got an iPhone, and I went in and I removed all my notifications. And I can't believe the difference that made just within a day of doing that, how less distracted I was by my phone. I just took them all away. I deleted all the apps I'm not using, and I moved all my messages to the last page of my phone. So my email, my Messenger, my Slack, anything where WhatsApp, anything where people were messaging me, I moved them all to the last page of my phone. So that's just a little tool to help you get less distracted. So what is distracting you? Are you getting caught up on social media? And the story that I heard, which was so great, an explanation of this hurrying, of this doing too much at once, of this trying to tackle too many things. And with AI coming, it's bombarding us, right, with more and more things, making us feel less and less able to achieve and finish a goal. So when you think about all the things that is distracting you, and that's some dream work for you, is writing down everything that's distracting you. And just during the day, be aware of what you're thinking is about when you wake up in the morning. Do you have multiple thoughts going through your mind through the night and in the morning? So today we're going to do an activity to help you really come in and hone in and focus again and bring order into your mind. And I'm going to help you to break down more of your marketing strategy so that you can be very focused and you can be very honed in on the end goal. Because when we get into the rhythm of heaven, if you think about the rhythm of God's heartbeat, you can't imagine Jesus running around like a crazy person, right? Running around in a stressed out state, going from one thing to another. That lack of order, that distraction is not the way that heaven works. And if you need someone to do something for you in a hurry, just ask one of your angels and go and send them out to do the job, right? So this is about honing in and about focus. So I want you to imagine for a moment that you are 20 years ahead. Just imagine that you close your eyes if you want. Take a breath in. I'm just going to breathe you into some breathing as I take you into this activation, because I want to send you out where you're going and then bring you back to where you are and take you through a traction process so that you can, at a subconscious level, slow down those thoughts and renew your mind and rewire those things that are holding you back from getting things finished. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're 20 years older. So think of the age that you're going to be in 20 years. That's a scary thought for some of us. And I want you to look back and think about the legacy. And take a deep breath in, and I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just continue breathing in and out, and close your eyes and see yourself 20 years older. And I want you to look back as if there was a fishing line between now and that 20 years from now. And I want you to look back from that future place and just think about some things that you want to have as a legacy that you're leaving. Maybe it's some knowledge that God's given you. Maybe it's some books. Maybe it is that you're passing down financial blessings to your children. Maybe that you've created a multi-million-dollar business or businesses. And I just want you to look back on that time and think about, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what would you spend your time doing towards that legacy? So we're just thinking about legacy. We're thinking about what are we going to leave behind? And that is going to help you come back and just define what is most important to you in your marketing. So I want you to imagine that, and imagine yourself how you're feeling as if you were sitting down like an old lady or an old man, and you were telling someone about your life, and you were explaining to them what is it that you have left behind for them? What is the legacy that you have left behind for them, and what is truly important? And then as you think about that, I want you to imagine how you're feeling about what you did over those 20 years. What did you impart into people spiritually? What did you leave financially? What did you teach people? What did you show people? Who were you? Who were you? How would you describe yourself over those 20 years? How would you describe how you were behaving? And as you picture that, and you picture all the lives that you've touched and you changed, and you come back to now, and you come back to this moment, this is the preface for you to identify and recognize what to put your attention on in your brand, what to put your attention on. And I'm going to get you to look now at a 1-year goal and start to pull it back to 1 year. You can go to 3 years and then to 1 year. And I'll get you to do more of this exercise later. But for now, I'm going to rein it back to the now focus. And I want you to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. And that is going to set you apart. So taking a couple of deep breaths in and out. And in a moment, I'm going to get you to open your eyes, and I'm going to share with you some of the tools to help you to get traction, because the enabler anointing is the ability for you to get traction and momentum. So we're talking about marketing specifically today, and how can you get traction and momentum in your marketing.